Welcome to No Fun Channel. I'm Felix, and this is sci-fi shows I think they should remake. Next up is War of the Worlds. Now, I did not know there were two TV series called War of the Worlds. The one I'm focused on is the one that came out in 1988. There was also one in 2019 that was a British TV show. The one in 2019 focused on H.G. Wells' book, War of the Worlds. It was a reimagining of the book, set in more modern times. The one in 88 takes place after the 1953 movie, which is based on Orson Welles' radio broadcast. And I just want to clarify, neither show has anything to do with the Tom Cruise movie, War of the Worlds. Technically, all three are based on H.G. Wells' book, War of the Worlds. Now, the 1988 version ran for 2 seasons and had 44 episodes. It starred Jared Martin as Dr. Harrison Blackwood, and his connection to the aliens is that his parents were killed in the 1953 invasion. Linda Madison Green played Dr. Susan McCullough. She is Dr. Blackwood's colleague. Rachel Blanchard played Debbie McCullough, her daughter. Now, some of you may recognize Rachel. She was the lead character in Clueless, the TV series. She played Cher. Phil Akin as Norton Drake. He only appears in the first season. He plays a longtime friend of Blackwood's, and he is portrayed as the computer genius. Richard Chavez played Lieutenant Colonel Paul Ironhorse. Basically, his character was the stereotypical military guy who went against what Dr. Blackwood wanted to do. I should mention Dr. Blackwood was also a pacifist. So you have the pacifist and the military guy always clashing. Now, I should also mention the character Norton Drake was also only in season 1. So they got rid of the Colonel and Drake for season 2. And they brought in Adrian Paul, who most of you will recognize from The Highlander. He played John Kincaid, a human resistance member. Dennis Frost was, I'm not sure how to say the alien name, Malzor, alien commander. And Catherine Disher as Mana, an alien scientist. What's funny about War of the Worlds, the 88 version, is the Lieutenant Colonel, I remember him in both seasons. Now, the show was syndicated, so now I'm thinking maybe I was watching it out of order. That does happen sometimes, especially if you're watching syndicated. What's interesting is when I was looking for sci-fi shows, I saw this one and I immediately just started remembering it. And I saw a lot of people who remembered it as well. And some don't remember as well. Some recall it being campy. I kind of recall all the above. When I watch syndicated shows, I don't take them serious. Even back then when I was a kid. Because I knew what I was watching. I knew it was just a syndicated show. It was just there for fun, watch it. And I do remember, trying to find this show when it, because it seemed like it never came on the same channel twice. So I do remember watching this show. Now, 2 of the actors have passed away. Dennis Frost and Jared Martin have both passed away. Everyone else is still alive, and when I checked, we're still listed as active. So, honestly, one way is to bring it back. And they could actually have it, because, like I said, Rachel Blanchard, she's an adult now. I believe she's 40s, maybe early 50s. She could be the star of the show. They could pick up with her. And Adrian Paul still acts. A lot of the actors still act. So they could all come back, thinking they defeat the aliens and then discover, surprise, aliens are still around. So like I said, surprise, aliens are still around. And it could not have it be so obvious, just like there was an Outer Limits episode that I remember where it turned out the aliens looked like us and they were in the politics, they were in the businesses, and they even had them in everyday job roles as well. The aliens were taking over. And you discover the aliens didn't really have to do much. That we damaged most of the planet by the time they decided to take over. So we could follow that suit where this whole time they thought to defeat the aliens, and the aliens adapted, and they're disguised as humans, and they're just all around us, and they've been all around us this whole time. And the aliens, don't have to do anything to prep the planet to be habitable for them, because we're destroying the planet. So it could go that route with it. And now I have not seen the 2019 version, so I can't really say much about it. But even so, I know a lot of actors from that are still alive. They could even do a crossover of some kind, even in alternate realities. It's sci-fi, so they could do something like that where they cross paths somehow. But another thing I was thinking of, the Tom Cruise movie, I was not a fan of the movie, to be honest with you. Now, Dakota Fanning played the kid in that, and she's in her 30s. Now, I don't know if she's looking to do TV, but they could find a 30-year-old actress to play the part, and they could, same thing, pick up with that person as the lead character. They could have her now be working for the government, hunting down alien artifacts. Actually, they could do it with the other one, too, where they bring the characters back. So, really, both versions you could do this, where they have them hunting down alien artifacts, and their main job is to make sure the alien artifacts don't fall into the wrong hands, get them back, and along the way, discover that the aliens are still alive. So, could tie both of those, actually. Could put them both together. Again, alternate realities, crossover, stuff like that. But yeah, I was thinking how to do it with Tom Cruise movie. But just based on the TV show, they could do that aspect. And that's like Rachel Blanchard's character could be working for the government. She's hunting down alien artifacts, trying to make sure they don't fall into the wrong hands. And they collect them, store them, research them, reverse engineer them. They could even put it that most of the modern technology is based on that. And everyone from the show that's still alive could come on, be regulars, or just pass through. And another option that I was thinking of, the reason I'm thinking of Tom Cruise movie is because of the 1953 movie, where the original series picked up where it left off. So I was thinking you could do the same thing in a series where it picks up where the Tom Cruise version left off. The Tom Cruise came out in 2005, so you could have it come out now. And like I said, have the character work for the government, going off hunting down alien artifacts. But the other way is redo the movie, the original movie, the 1953 movie, and then have the series. Like they could do a TV movie, and then the series picks up years later. So for the movie, they have it take place in the 80s. Then fast forward 30, 35 years later, and like to modern time, and have it that the aliens are the reason we have all this advanced technology. Find out they're the ones in charge of politics and businesses and stuff. And kind of take off like the original movie or the original series did and recast all the characters. I think that would be an interesting take, to have this actually take place in the 80s instead of the 50s, and how they covered it up. Like it wasn't a war, it was a training exercise that got out of hand and people got hurt. Something like that. Now, I kind of wanted to do this video differently, but I could not find where to watch War of the Worlds 2019, because I wanted to compare the two, watch them both again, and compare the two, and then talk about them. I am kind of shifting gears with this, because there's another series I want to talk about that's been remade. Now, I can't think of too many old sci-fis that have been remade. I don't want to talk about sci-fi shows that I've already been talked about to death, but I may end up doing that. But yeah, because I didn't realize it had already been remade. Well, technically it hasn't been remade, because it wasn't based on the old TV show. So that's what I was going to compare it to see what was what with them. But I didn't get a chance to. Now that's my take on remaking War of the Worlds.